Come with me to get these nails autumn ready. So grab a brew, take a seat, and let's get started. So I've already done all of my prep. I've not included that in this particular video, but I can in others if you want to. Just let me know in the comments what you want to see. But I have done the full prep and then I have laid a clear base. Because I often do redesigns for this client, I lay a clear base. It also means that it's actually really easy to soak off when we do a refresh set, because I literally just file back to that clear base and then I soak off, and it will soak off in under 10 minutes. It's fantastic. I am using Sapphire from CJP here, basically just painting it on as thin as possible, so I've got that coverage. It's a really pigmented polish. It's also got some gel in it, some glitter rather, so if you paint it thin like gel, it goes on really well. So I will also cap that in clear. I didn't need this much. I think I just wanted a bit of extra coverage at the tip, but I will cap that in clear. So it's kind of all of my colours I will sandwich between a clear base layer and a clear top layer. It means that I'm not using as much colour and it's just that bit stronger. This is a glitter from Tracy Lou. I think it's called Vintage Copper. I don't know whether she does it anymore, but it's absolutely stunning, and it goes with everything. So fingers crossed she does, because it's a really beautiful glitter. So basically, once I've put that in, I will cap that whole nail in clear. That will be coming up in a moment. And if you are new here, my name's Ali, I'm a nail tech and educator, and I've been doing this for around about 6 years. I'm trying to put new content out all the time, so please do drop us a like and a follow and share this video with anybody that you think might benefit from it. So yeah, it'd be really lovely to have you as part of the gang. So I cap that in clear again. I don't know whether you can see that, but I'm working super thin. I want to make sure that all of my glitter is capped. Now I'll be able to tell that because it'll go matte once it dries down. If there's still some shiny bits once it dries down, it means that unfortunately the glitter's not capped and you might end up filing it away. So just double check before you go in with your hand file. So I am just using the belly of the brush just to pat that down and bring that into shape. Sometimes I find using the tip will just coax it down, and it makes a real difference to the way it kind of moves down the nail, if that makes sense. Then I obviously make sure I do as much kind of shaping with my brush as possible so it minimises the filing. On the ring finger, I am doing a glitter fade. So I go in first off with a nude at the cuticle. This, I think, is Birthday Attire from Nails by Ashley. Really lovely acrylic to work with. Then I am going in and I am just popping some of that Vintage Copper at the tip, and I will make sure I cap that in clear. If you can hear any odd noises in the background, I've got the washing machine on and somebody outside has decided now is the perfect time to start drilling something. So I do apologise. I hope it doesn't detract from anything. So I am just making sure that it's not too kind of solid around about the middle of the nail. I love this glitter because it's got lots of different kind of bits and kind of different like grits, as it were, not grits, different grades of glitter. So it goes everything from fine to really chunky. And it means that it's much easier to get a really good coverage with it. If you are struggling getting full coverage, I think one of the best tricks I ever learned was to put a similar colour underneath it, and it just means that you get a better look at the end of it, and you're not worrying so much about getting all of that glitter into place. So again, I have literally just placed that on, allowed it to polymerize for a minute, and then I've just painted it down the nail. Again, I do faff because I like to minimise my filing, but it's entirely up to you how you do that. So again, just popping a little bit on at the tip so I've got that coverage. You'll notice I'm not really touching the tip until now, just because it allows it to keep its shape. Allowing it to sit just for a few moments will really mean that colour doesn't wipe away when you go to wipe it away. And then I go in with a clear layer on this one just to kind of finish that nail off. So going back to the glitter finger again, another tip for doing full coverage is what I'll do is I will do one relatively thin sparse layer first off with my glitter. So I'll pick it up with a tiny little bit of acrylic, I'll paint it on, I'll go and do another nail, I'll let that dry down a little bit and then I'll come back. Now the reason I do that is it means that I've got kind of a base layer and it kind of, not only does it layer the glitter so it looks really, really kind of, it's got loads of depth to it, but also it means that it doesn't move around as much when I go in with my second layer. And again, it's easier to get that full coverage, but really getting those different sizes of glitter in there, everything from the teeny tiny right up to the big chunky bits makes such a difference when you're applying glitter and you're trying to get a really good full coverage nail. And now on to the dreaded marble. So don't be scared of marbles, because the wonderful thing about marbles is they all look a bit ugly to start off with and they end up beautiful. So one of the best tips that I ever learned, this is from Kylie Werry. If you're not following her on here, please do, because her videos are amazing. But basically I'll put 2 colours at the cuticle and it means that I'm not worrying so much about my cuticle application later on, and I can just kind of get that on. So I'll place 2 beads of copper penny on and sapphire onto the nail, and then very, very lightly drag my brush through it. Now, I don't want to go down to the base. This bead was potentially a bit dry as well, but it, you know, you make it work. And again, it's marble, so it doesn't matter. So you'll notice I'm not pressing too hard. I'm literally just swooshing that around the nail, and then I'm kind of filling in with the remainder that's on my brush anywhere I've got any gaps. So you'll see you get that lovely marble swirl there, and it just means that you've got that really nice coverage again. And again, if you're struggling with that, get some glitter on it. Like I said, you could also, sometimes I've seen it where, and I've done it myself, where I'll just, you know, you put one colour on and then you'll literally just kind of smear the other one through it. It makes a beautiful marble. So try different techniques, find out what works for you. And again, don't panic. It'll look really wobbly and bumpy right now. You'll notice there, actually, just let me digress a moment, that I pop a very thin, clear layer of acrylic on there. And then I go in using my slightly wet brush into my acrylic, into my glitter, and then I'll put it onto the nail. I just find it, sometimes it's a really easy way to get that to apply. So yeah, going back to my original point, you'll notice that it's really lumpy and bumpy and it looks terrible, but you'll cap it in clear. And then you get the depth. Honestly, marble nails are so worth it, and they all look different. Really, there's no way, just, I think the main trick is not to overwork it. Go through it once or twice with your brush and that's it, because otherwise it can look muddy. But on the whole, with the marble nail, they're pretty straightforward and easy to do. I know they can be scary, but give them a go, because it really is worth getting that and really, really nailing that, excuse the pun. And finally on the thumb, we have copper penny. So you'll notice there I place the bead, then I will just tease that up into the cuticle area, and then I will just paint that down the nail. This is the most beautiful, the most pigmented, perfect autumn colour. I absolutely adore it. I can't even tell you how much I love it. Honestly, the minute it turns like September, October, this is coming out. If they ever stop it, I will be heartbroken. It's from CJP, but yeah, highly recommend this one. And I'm basically going in with a relatively thin layer of that, and then I will cap that in clear. And I'm capping here using a 2 bead method. So I allow the bead to polymerize ever so slightly on my brush, place it on the nail. I'll make the back of the bead flush with the nail, and then using the belly of my brush, or the tip of my brush in this case, I'll just gently ease that down towards the tip. I didn't want it to be too thick, which is why I'm kind of applying a bit more pressure, but you know, again, you'll work out what you need to do. But I am literally just using the tip just to coax that into place, and I am getting as much of that shape in as possible. I find sometimes wiping up really helps me mean that it's not too bulky at the end. So you'll see there where I wipe that back towards the cuticle. It means that it kind of smooths off the nail. That hair was doing my head in. Oh, it was doing my head in. So yeah, anyway, then I will go in with, I think it might actually have been a 3 bead method, this one, I do apologise. But again, I am just literally painting that down. I don't want it to be too thick. These nails have got a really good C-curve in them. She's got a good natural C-curve. I don't need a lot of bulk. I saw her, I think it was last week, and she'd already had them on for like 2 weeks and they were immaculate. Do you know what I mean? And she walks her dogs in them, all that kind of thing. So structure isn't necessarily about making a thick nail, it's about making a structurally sound nail. So finally I go back in and cap anywhere I need to. I've been trying to cap as I go along and I find it a little bit quicker, but with this one I wanted to let the glitter really set so it wasn't moving. So you'll notice I put that bead in at the cuticle, and then I'm literally using the belly of my brush to bring that down. So I'm literally just kind of patting and pressing it down, and then I pull that down towards the tip. Now I'm trying not, although I'm touching the side, I'm trying not to touch the top of the nail too much, just because you can put bubbles into it, and obviously, especially with a glitter nail, we don't want that. So I obviously had a little bit of space missing there, and I just put another bead on. So again, capping it. What I like to do sometimes as well is wipe a little bit of monomer over the nail if it's already dried. So that nail was fully matte, so it fully dried down. So if I wipe a touch of monomer over the nail, it just almost rehydrates it, and it means it's so much easier for the bead above it to stick. And it means that you don't get as well, you know, like, I don't know whether you've ever done it where you place the bead on and there's maybe a little bit of dry powder underneath it. It stops that from becoming a line in your lovely clear, you know, beautiful crystal clear nail. So yeah, I would always try and wipe a little bit over of monomer over that nail, just because it gives it that kind of almost like sticky layer to stick itself to adhere to. And if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. And we're going to go in for the top coat reveal moment, because let's face it, who doesn't love a top coat reveal? So I am using Dali Artistics Sticky Top Coat. It's really good, this one. I've only just started using it, and I've noticed it's staying shiny for ages. It's a nice consistency to apply. It's not too kind of thick, not too thin, so it's not running all over the place. It's not creating a load of bulk. I am quite finicky with my top coat, because I figure at the end, why slop it on when you've spent all that time getting your nails right, and also it can really alter the shape of your nail. So what I'll do is I will normally kind of paint it on, just paint that nail, and then I will go back in with, I'll wipe all of the excess gel off my brush, my gel brush, and I will just make sure that I tighten up the sides. I don't know that I've done this set on this set to show you, or if I've left it in, but yeah, just clean that brush off and then use your brush to kind of take any excess or gel off and make it nice and smooth. Give it a good cure, go in with your cuticle oil, and you're done. I do hope that helps, and thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful day now. Bye.